Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, stumble toward the window, and see something that doesn't make sense. The highways are empty. The streets are silent. Not a single car, not a single truck, not even a taxi. Overnight, every country in the world has banned cars. No warnings, no exceptions, no second chances. The machines that defined modern life are gone. Now pause for a second. What happens next? Would our world collapse into chaos? Or would we discover a completely new way to live? Let's dive into a world where cars vanish overnight. First, the shock. In one night, the most common symbol of freedom and convenience disappears. The daily commute? Gone. Parents driving kids to school? Gone. Emergency services, ambulances, fire trucks, even delivery vans, all parked, locked, outlawed. Imagine hospitals without ambulances, or grocery stores with empty shelves because trucks can't bring food anymore. Chaos would erupt in the very first hours. Millions of people would find themselves stranded, unable to reach jobs, schools, or even loved ones. The morning rush hour wouldn't exist anymore, but not because it's convenient. It would be because people simply have no way to get anywhere. Cities would face the hardest hit. Modern urban life is built around the car. The food you eat, the clothes you wear, the Amazon package you click on, all of it arrives by road. Without cars and trucks, supply chains would collapse instantly. Within days, supermarkets would run out of stock. Pharmacies would struggle to get medicine. Factories would be forced to shut down. It would feel like civilization had hit the pause button. But in the middle of this nightmare, something unexpected would begin to happen. People would adapt fast. Humans always do. Overnight, bicycles would become the new kings of the road. In countries like the Netherlands or Denmark, this might feel normal. But in car-centric nations like the United States, the shift would be seismic. Suddenly, railways, subways, and buses would explode with demand. Governments would scramble to reopen abandoned train lines. Old trolley systems and streetcars, once ripped out to make space for cars, would be rebuilt. The sound of engines would be replaced by the steady hum of bicycles, footsteps, and trains. And what about the environment? Within a single week, the world's skies would look different. Carbon emissions would plummet overnight. Smog-choked megacities like Delhi, Beijing, or Los Angeles would suddenly see blue skies. Respiratory illnesses caused by air pollution would drop almost instantly. Oil demand would crash, sending global markets into freefall. Petrostates dependent on fuel exports would face economic collapse. But the planet? The planet would finally breathe. Now let's talk about culture. Cars aren't just machines. They're symbols of independence, status, even identity. Imagine the cultural shock. Car enthusiasts, racetracks, Formula One car shows, all erased in a single decree. Teenagers dreaming about their first car, gone. Road trips, gone. Music blasting with windows rolled down on the highway, just a memory. For millions, it would feel like losing a part of themselves. But there's another side. Communities would change. Without cars dominating neighborhoods, streets would belong to people again. Children could play soccer in the middle of the road without fear. Cities could redesign themselves around people, not parking lots. Sidewalk cafes, bike lanes, green parks, all would flourish where traffic once roared. It would be painful at first, but slowly life might feel calmer, quieter, more human. Still, the transition would not be smooth. Rural areas would face the toughest challenges. In small towns where public transit barely exists, banning cars would isolate entire populations. Farmers couldn't get their crops to market. Families would be cut off from hospitals or schools miles away. Governments would be forced to invent new systems, maybe mass deployment of electric buses, or even reviving horse-drawn transport in remote areas. It would be messy, it would be desperate, but survival would demand innovation. The biggest irony? This overnight ban might accelerate technology faster than we've ever seen. Without cars, the push for autonomous public shuttles, electric cargo trains, even drone deliveries would skyrocket. Imagine skies buzzing with drones carrying groceries, or fleets of shared electric pods replacing private vehicles. What we thought might take decades could arrive in just a few years. So would the world survive a car ban? At first, it would feel like the end of civilization, chaos, panic, shortages, frustration. But step by step, society would adapt. Cities would transform. Pollution would fade. Roads would belong to people again. Humanity would discover that life without cars is not only possible, it might even be better. Of course, this is just a what if. Cars aren't going anywhere tomorrow. But imagining a carless world makes us question, do we really need to be this dependent on them? Or is there a smarter, greener, more human way to move forward? So let me ask you, if every country banned cars overnight, would you panic? Or would you adapt? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed exploring this wild scenario, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to V8X Cars, and turn on the notification bell. Because next time we'll dive into an even bigger what if that will blow your mind.